Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're putting on our detective hats for an online investigation. We're focusing on a jewelry retailer called Ethan and Ara. Our mission is pretty simple. Is this a real online boutique, or are we looking at a very, very well-dressed scam?
Why?
So when you first land on their site, the presentation is flawless. It's so clean, so professional.
It really is.
You see these polished photos of rings, necklaces, bracelets, and they've got all the right signals. A 30-day money-back guarantee, secured checkout icons, everything.
And that huge claim, right?
Yeah.
Over 10,000 happy customers.
Exactly.
Right.
On the surface, it just ticks every single box.
It's the perfect facade, and that's what's so fascinating here, because the deeper you dig, the more you see how the business model, or what seems to be the model, it completely contradicts that professional look.
It stops making sense.
The pieces just don't fit. I
Yeah.
have to ask, what's the real goal if it's not selling jewelry for a profit?
Okay, let's get right into that contradiction, because this is the thing that jumped off the screen for me.
I know what you're going to say.
The autumn sales section. Dozens of items, bracelets, rings, earrings, all marked as completely free. $0.
Exactly. That's the first and honestly the biggest red flag. Real jewelry businesses, they just don't give away their products for free.
Not all of them.
Right. I mean, maybe a promo item, but not dozens. This model, where you just pay a shipping fee, is almost always tied to one of two pretty risky schemes.
But wait, couldn't it be a legitimate loss leader? They give away a few cheap things to get new customers, hope they'll come back and buy something else later.
That's a great question. And normally, maybe. But the sheer volume of free stuff here just doesn't support that.
It's too much.
Way too much. It points to one of two things. First, they're a low-quality drop shipper.
Yeah.
They use your shipping fee to buy a practically worthless item from an overseas factory and ship it directly to you.
Okay, so the product is junk.
Or second, and this is more concerning, it's a pure data harvesting site.
Mhm.
The product is irrelevant. They want your address and a working credit card number. That combination of info is incredibly valuable for spam lists or, worse.
So the jewelry isn't the point at all. And that brings us to the second major issue, doesn't it?
It does.
This absolute digital silence around a company that says it has over 10,000 customers. We looked everywhere.
We really did. I mean, think about it. A real retailer with that many sales would have a massive digital footprint. You'd see people talking good or bad on Reddit, on forums, on Trustpilot.
But there's nothing, not a single trustworthy third-party review.
Precisely. And that lack of independent chatter is a huge problem. It speaks to a total lack of transparency. Sure, they list contact info, but there's no external accountability.
The only praise is on their own website, which they control.
Which basically makes that 10,000 customer claim meaningless. So putting it all together, the conclusion from all sources is pretty clear. This site is very risky.
Very risky.
Now, the sources do say that sometimes a cheap little item does arrive, probably just to keep up appearances.
Right, to stop people from reporting it immediately.
Exactly. But that everything free model, combined with the lack of transparency, it just makes it impossible to trust them with your financial data.
So what's the practical advice here for you, the listener, if you're just so curious you have to try it?
Well, the advice is pretty critical.
Start with a tiny, tiny order. And more importantly, use a protected payment method. A virtual card or something that shields your real bank info.
Absolutely. Do not use your primary credit or debit card. The risk of your data being validated and then sold is it's too high. The whole setup points to data collection, not retail.
This whole case really shines a light on a bigger challenge we all face online. How do we verify who's legit when anyone can buy a professional-looking website, but their whole business model makes no sense?
It forces us to question the very basics of e-commerce trust.
And it leaves you with this thought, doesn't it? Think about the real cost of free. When something seems completely free, an item, a quiz, whatever, you have to ask yourself, what's the real exchange happening here?
What are you really paying with?
Exactly. It might not be money. It might be your address, your personal data, and the confirmation that your credit card is active. To the right person, that information is worth way more than a $5 bracelet.